Scissor my gumdrops, Bitcoin continues to follow our trajectory to a T. But the question now is, will this weekend initiate devastating, trouser-destroying dumpage that would make a nursing home look like a walk in the park? Or will Bitcoin find the thrust to completely bust back above our key trend line just in the nick of time? And our altcoin prediction from yesterday hit our target exactly, but what comes next may make you think you were born in the wrong body. Scissor me timbers, let's get rumping. Everyone, I am your host, Dugan Dugan, and I'm here to turn you on to the best investment on the history of planet Girth. Boys, girls, mommies, and everything in between, do we have a show for you today? We're going to be dumping into Bitcoin's price as for the last 4 to 5 days, Bitcoin has done exactly what we've been saying in each and every single episode, but the question now is, what is the trajectory for Bitcoin, and has anything changed? And the oh-so-giant fear sitting in the back of our heads of a potential weekend dumpage, especially potentially on Sunday, which has been known to be an extra dumpy day. Could that come to fruition? Or in fact, are we all worrying for nothing, and Bitcoin is actually just heading straight back up to the muon? So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, make sure to turn on those post notifications, and if you're an absolute savage, make sure to also turn on post notifications so you never miss a critical time-sensitive update like this. And without any further spladoosh, let's dive into the content. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle me all the way, guys. And as well, we do have a few announcements at the end of the webisode, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But let's start off here with Bitcoin on the weekly chart. In fact, Bitcoin has continued on this little bit of a downtrend. If we go to the hourly chart first, and then we're going to zoom out, but what's going on the hourly chart has been a clear and consistent rejection at the very basic 21 and 50 moving averages here, even on this 1 hour chart. And guys, as we've been saying for multiple days now we are trading within a lower Fibonacci range. We said, just days ago, when we break below this one, we were going to find support and trade within this range. And now the big question is that if we do break to our next range, which is all the way down here, are we going to trade sideways in this? Very similar to like how we traded sideways here, and how we traded sideways here, and how we traded sideways here, or more so traded sideways here within this range. But are we going to trade sideways there, or is it going to be a very quick bounce? And that is really the big question. So next, if we go to the 4 hour chart, as you can see, guys, we are within this very key Fibonacci range, ranging from about 45,500 all the way up to about 47,500. The next big Fibonacci range that we just fell below is about 50,500 and 47,500. So a $3,000 range. Now we're within a simple $2,000 range. But more importantly, here on this 4 hour chart, we are still below our point of control VPVR resistance level right here at around 47,700, which is what we mentioned exactly in yesterday's video. And yeah, that was the key part of yesterday's video. And we have not gotten above it since we made our video. We've gotten clear and consistent rejections. You can see all of these 4 hour candles basically closing right exactly there, coming all the way up to exactly this level. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like almost half a dozen different closes on this 4 hour chart right underneath this very key level. One thing we do notice though is we're getting higher lows. Okay, so whether you want to consider this maybe like an ascending triangle type pattern or whatever, it's only on the 4 hour chart, so it's probably not very significant anyway, because it's only what, maybe maximum 48 hours worth of data, so it's not very remarkable at this point yet. But we do have higher low structure being formed and a very clear resistance level to the top here. Again, our breakdown target is going to be in that wide range of about 40,500 to about 42,000. So absolutely critical that Bitcoin holds that level. And if we go to the 6 hour chart as well, yeah, we had that bearish cross, which we mentioned in yesterday's video, okay, right here. And ever since then, it's been, basically immediately after we got that cross, we got a pretty nice dumpage there. But yeah, we're just still trading within some key Fibonacci ranges. There has been nothing that I can see that is showing us that we're going to reverse to the upside just yet. And in fact, we've already made the case why it's better if Bitcoin does not reverse to the upside just yet and just follows through with its dumpage. And guys, something we pointed out in yesterday's video as well, we do have some bullish divergence here with the RSI on the 4 hour chart, and it is actually visible as well on the 6 hour chart. It looks a little weaker on that chart, but yeah, it's definitely visible. It's actually visible on the 4 hour, 6 hour, and it's even on the 1 hour chart. So bullish divergence, we talked about that yesterday. However, just having bullish divergence with the RSI and on some of these smaller time frames is not enough to convince me personally that that is anything substantial at all. Let's say we do get a little bit of a relief rally all the way up to some of our key levels. Anywhere below 55 or 56,000 US dollars is still insignificant in my opinion, until we start getting consistent daily closes above them. So yeah, at some point we could still see a relief rally, at which point people would most likely be screaming that the correction is over. Only very likely what we see all the time is for it to top out at a lower low or a lower high instead of reclaiming that. Very similar to like what we saw back here, right? We have a high, very big drop, and then a relief rally. Everyone was saying, oh, the correction's over, and then guess what happened afterwards? More massive dumpage to come. So that's another scenario we really have to be prepared for, is that if we do get that relief rally, because we've now had 1, 2, 3, 4, we've had like almost a week of consistent dumpage data. If we do continue dumping here, or if we get that relief rally, guys, we're not out of the woods in terms of being able to set new all-time highs very soon just yet. I still think we need to follow through here. We've been below the 21-day moving average for multiple days now, so that is absolutely critical. And yeah, there's just nothing on this chart showing me that we're going to be bullish just yet. Now, if we go to this other daily chart for Bitcoin, this move is basically right here. This green bar pattern that I have here is basically just the same as our previous dump there. So what this looks like is pretty identical to what we've seen so far. And it actually shows, again, the possibility of maybe having a relief rally all the way up to about 56,000, 56,500, at which point, right, that's over a $10,000 above where we are as I'm recording this video. So that's pretty big. So Bitcoin could, what I'm trying to say here is, if Bitcoin pumps another 10,000 US dollars, it would almost be guaranteed that 99% of people in the space would be saying, yes, the dip is absolutely done. We're on to new all-time highs. And at that point, again, it could be very possible, but we cannot ignore the very realistic and clear possibility that, as long as we don't set a new higher high, that could just be seen as a relief rally, and we could just do what we did previously, where we come up to this level, we kind of test this key fib level of the 786. Specifically, it would have to break and hold above 56,000. If it does break above 56,000 and gets like a daily close or two there, then I would be bullish, even if we didn't set a new higher high immediately. But if we can't even get a daily close above there, but we still get up to that $56,000 range, that's not enough to convince me just yet. And again, we could see us plummet down all the way to our key target, which is this box right here. Between 40,000, basically, between 40,000 and like 42,000, ultimately I think is a really good bottom area. I personally think 42 might be the lowest we could go. I'm not convinced yet that even with this downward momentum that we could reach 40K. So that's why I'm kind of leaning more towards 42K. And yeah, so that's what all those targets are what I'm referring to with Bitcoin. We're going to look at Ethereum here really briefly as well. Ethereum is still just holding this horizontal support, which it held going back to January 3rd for the most part. And yeah, you can see it's holding that level. But as you can see, at this very moment, we're actually below the 50-day moving average by a little bit. 50-day moving average is currently around 1,500, and we're at 1,475. So Ethereum is just desperately clinging on for life there. And yeah, again, I do think Ethereum's going to have a huge move. Guys, this is something I really want to stress as well. The biggest mistake a lot of people make when it comes to investing in crypto, if you're new and you're chasing these altcoins, and this is actually something Ben mentioned on his live stream earlier on BitBoy, and I absolutely agree. And it was something I've been thinking about for a few days as well, because this is one of the biggest mistakes people make. You see a coin pumping for a few weeks, the coin that you're invested in, let's say in this case it's Ethereum, isn't doing too well. So, you take Ethereum, you might be losing for a few weeks, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, you just see it go down and you're like, oh geez, you know what? That's it. I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to take my Ethereum position and let's say put it in Cardano, because Cardano is doing so well right now. And as of the last week, Ethereum isn't doing very well. Keep in mind, Ethereum is still doing extremely well. I mean, like a week ago, we were setting new all-time highs. So we're just obsessing because we look at these charts every single day. But in the macro picture, Ethereum's doing really well. Bitcoin's doing really well. A lot of these altcoins are doing really well, but Cardano specifically is doing amazing this last week, and actually for the past few weeks. But a huge mistake people are going to make is they're going to say, Ethereum's underperforming, forget it. I'm selling all my Ethereum, and then I'm going to buy ADA at the top. That very, very, very often, in my experience, just my personal experience, that has almost never worked. The much better strategy that I've adopted is when we see a coin and we see it just kind of underperform, very similar to like Ethereum here, and we just see it getting beaten down and a few weeks go by and people start they lose confidence in it. Usually, after those few weeks, because it's normally kind of like a few week type phenomenon, after those few weeks, a lot of people capitulate. They say, you know what, forget it. I'm selling my Ethereum in the example I'm making right now. I'm selling my Ethereum and I'm going all in Cardano. Next thing you know, after Cardano's been up for, Cardano's been up for weeks at this point. Next thing you know, Cardano may hit its target, our next target here, which we actually hit our exact target. I think I'm actually going to have a separate video for some altcoins later today, so watch out for that, because I've talked too much already. I don't have enough time in this video to talk about altcoins in depth, so I'm going to be probably doing a second video today. Anyway, let's say Cardano does hit our next target then. So, you buy in, you go all in on Cardano after you sell your Ethereum, but then next thing you know, Cardano initiates a 1 to 2, 3 week pullback, and then finally, after all of our waiting, that is when Ethereum starts pumping. Now, again, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I'm telling you that is exactly what I've experienced dozens and dozens and dozens of times in the last 4 years that I've been invested in crypto. And so that's why I'm going to 100% just tell you exactly what I'm doing. I personally am not selling my Ethereum. This is, in my opinion, a very bad time because Ethereum has underperformed. And at least in my experience, coins that are fundamentally very valuable, obviously Ethereum is one of them. There are, maybe a couple dozen in the entire space. Ethereum, Cardano, Bitcoin, obviously all three of them are very solid coins, especially price action wise. Usually when they underperform for an amount of time, it doesn't last very long. And that's why I'm just saying I personally think this would be maybe the worst time to absolutely exit your Ethereum position, even though it does look very weak right now. Like I mentioned, it's below the 50-day. Just in my experience, I think making a sell into ADA with my Ethereum position is not something I'm going to do right now. And even though I'm saying that, as I said, I still think ADA is probably going to reach our next target that we talked about. Our target in yesterday's video was hit exactly, and I think I'll cover that more in another update. But yeah, everything's looking good for that. And I actually have a few other altcoins that I want to be talking about, so I think that's why I'm going to talk about that in the next video. Wow, so if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications as well. Do have two announcements here. One, it has been long delayed, but ever since my emergency appendectomy, I had to get my appendix out, I kind of got delayed a little bit. But guys, it looks as though we are moving forward, and we should be having a new studio and everything in the very short term. I would say within the next month. I keep saying that. I got a little delayed, but now plans are actually starting to get locked in. So that's something to look forward to. And with that, I'm going to be changing up the content. And all I mean by that is, doing more live streams and also changing up and adding more content with alts specifically. Because right now I'm mainly doing Bitcoin updates, but I want to kind of diversify that a little bit and have different types of updates and some fundamental updates in addition to the technical analysis updates. But yeah, if you guys are interested in trading, make sure to take advantage of our Bybit and Femex deposit bonuses below. Femex has a large variety of altcoins and a current $600 bonus for trading when you deposit. Never trade more than you're willing to lose, and only trade if you have experience and you won't support the channel. And that's it for me. Bye bye.